Alright everyone, welcome back to Master of Command. Merry Christmas. Hopefully you all enjoyed your Christmas. I spent it with family. Very good. I did have a huge pre-Christmas workload. Thankfully most of that got accomplished. Now I'm ready to play some Holy Roman Empire for Master of Command. And we will be playing as the Kreis Contingent. Let's see, Holy Roman Empire. I'm going to go over their doctrine. Imperial Register. Drilling replaced with mustering. Raising reservists and recruits. And recruitment options at settlements are reduced by 2. So it's trying to encourage you to use this drilling stance of mustering rather than recruiting your units at settlements. Kreis Contingent has Imperial Patchwork. Combat effectiveness goes up by 0.5% per unique regiment in the army. Very interesting. Got some decent starting items. We do not have the other 2 armies unlocked, so it's only Kreis Contingent for now. We have 2 commanders here. Josef Friedrich von Hohenzollern, which has Prudent, Combat Effectiveness 5%, and reduction to Officer Command Radius 25%. And we also have Christian Karl zu Stolberg-Gedern, who has a supply wagon, which is wonderful because I've been looking forward to using a supply wagon, now that they won't simply blow up at the beginning of the game, or the battle. Imperial Dragoons, Imperial Recruits, Kreis Musketeers, and Imperial Land Militia. Pretty cool. Let's go. We're going to continue. We're going to start. Let's see here. Custom. We're doing Ironman. And I will be adding modifiers as well. Broken ranks. Scouting parties. Reckless officers. Multi-front conflict. And absent quartermasters. Fantastic. 5 modifiers again. Ironman historical enemies. Fantastic. And we will be going to save Kreis Contingent. Alright, let's see what we get for our campaigns. This could be very interesting. Very interesting. Suppressed Silesia gives us Polish-Saxon Union, light cavalry combat effectiveness. And Saxon Musketeers. Reinforced Bohemia, Kreis Grenadiers, 1,600 men for 30 and 30. Interesting. And of course, Romer Monet Doctrine. 6 reservists and ammo daily, and lose 2 thalers daily. I think that's worth it. It's fantastic. Alright. Protect Franconia. Palatine Kurfürsten Dragoons. I probably butchered that. They seem fantastic. And we get Hearts and Minds. Item sale profit at settlements. This is a hard one because Hearts and Minds and Romer Monet are amazing, especially the sooner in the game that you get them. Hearts and Minds is good because you can begin selling things early without concern. I think we want the Romer Monet, however. Of course, we do have a feature here, so we have Franconia, Bohemia, and Silesia. Now, what's interesting is you can now re-roll these options. You could not do that before. I believe Act 1, you can re-roll infinitely. Because what people were doing was they would go, they would load a game, they didn't like these, they'd hit escape, they'd hit quit, and then they'd get out and redo it to get new options. So he said, okay, we'll add a re-roll. Well, I think the first act is infinite re-roll. But I believe Act 2 and 3, if you want to re-roll, it costs gold. Or thalers. Alright. Let's try it. Let's try it, shall we? I love these, but let's see what happens. Re-roll. Brandenburg, Franconia, and Bohemia. Baggage trains for ammo consumption in battle, with Württemberger Musketeers. Saxon Musketeers with Hearts and Minds. Salary reductions, which is interesting because that would negate some of the malice that we have for recruitment. And the Dragoons again from Palatine. Fantastic. Try it one more time. So as you can see now, you can just go through this and get the start that you want, both with enemy composition, location. For example, one thing is certain settlements you can end up having availability for new recruits from the area they're in. So if we choose Bohemia, you'll have Austrian type or maybe Hungarian recruits available to you. Saxon Grenadiers, campaign visibility is wonderful. Kreis Grenadiers, Pillager Doctrine, very interesting. Scraping the barrel. As you can see, you could keep doing this indefinitely. I don't intend to. This is interesting and all. But let us see. We've gotten one of the German arms production. Now that's pretty neat. I like that one. Musket and carbine cost goes down by 50%. So you can actually heavily equip your men with great muskets very, very easily. That's a pretty fantastic attribute there. Chevaux de guerre is light cavalry also. Interesting. Alright, well, since we're speaking on it, let's do this. We'll invade Silesia. We'll get the Saxon Chevaux de guerre from battlefields and forts for the German arms production. The forts might be somewhat difficult, but we'll see what we can do. Let's do this. Fantastic. Alright, Silesia, Act 1. I know I took a little bit longer on the campaign part of it, but I wanted to show off some of the changes made to the game. Alright, we showed off our commanders. Overall commander is Friedrich Michael von Zweibrücken. Imperial recruits are getting the surgeons, the hangers, and the herbs. Musketeers. Well, hold on. Land millets are getting the muskets and the chaplains. And the cavalry is getting the armor. Fantastic. Alright. Let's see here. War is upon us. General, your army stands at the frontier. Though modest in size, your forces are disciplined and in good order. A nearby depot lies ahead, lightly defended, and will serve as a starting point to begin your campaign, though you'll need to press onwards soon after. The land is open and the roads clear, ideal for seeking out skirmishes and encounters. Engage patrols boldly, even those larger than your own. Their troops are of a lower quality, and their spoils and equipment will serve your army well. We await your progress. So, we must get this supply cache to start with. Enemy supply post. And ammo, 80 provisions, or 600 reservists. I think we can go ahead and get the provisions early. No reason to run out of food. An enemy army, what do you know? Fantastic. Cavalry, musketeers, and recruits. As always, should be an easy starting battle. Alright. Apparently, canister shot is not as devastating now, but it's easier to use up near the front. I wouldn't mind testing that out, potentially, because generally I wasn't a big a fan of it before. We are going to head west with our army. Fantastic. Got a general, dragoons, and the supply wagon. Alright, gonna move the supply wagon down here. Move the troops down here as well. Use the dragoons to screen. General down here. I don't like the rest of this more open terrain, so we're not going to use it. Instead, we're going to try to draw the enemy across the river. Now, as far as I understand now, the river has some changes made to it. So now, units lose a lot more stamina and capability when they try to cross a river. So something to keep in mind. Alright, here comes the enemy. Watch the supply wagon there. deploy the land millets so we can begin firing on the enemy. Fantastic. Musketeers are preparing to fire my land millets also. Alright, move up our troops. See what their cavalry are going to do as well. Move our cavalry up to intercept the enemy. Try and take out our recruits, which I don't appreciate. Fantastic. Recruits held on. That's good. Musketeers can calm down now. Dragoons will simply watch that direction. Alright, land millets are taking some damage from the enemy musketeers. They're giving out a good deal of damage, however, which is good. Thing is, the recruits and the musketeers are firing on them. So order the recruits to charge. Alright, get the musketeers to join the battle. Hopefully these recruits are making a lot of kills. Musketeers are joining the land millets. Alright, recruits are still getting some kills. Not too bad. And victory. Broke the enemy musketeers. Not bad for a start, not bad. Yes. Very good battle. Alright. Spirit rations, greatcoats, pontoons, land patterns, not my favorite. Alright, not a problem. Tollers and ammunition is the way to go. That replenishment coming in handy. As you can see, definitely helped. Alright. Let's see, land patterns. Still better than worn muskets. Not my favorite weapon. I may give the good Soul muskets to them because it's better in melee. Alright, give them the coats. Give them the extra replenishment. Musketeers get accuracy. Haversacks. Land millets get this veterancy. Alright. Good start, good start. Item sale cost right away. That's awesome. I will likely sell most of our items then, to get us a good early boost of money. Cavalry pistols basic, very interesting. Apparently they've added cavalry pistols to the game. Saxon units, Palatine muskets, very expensive. Not going to be doing any of that anytime soon. I'm going to get rid of the land pattern. I don't like worn, but land pattern is not great. Keep that, keep that. I'm going to give the recruits the bayonets and take the worn bayonets from everybody else to sell. Gonna remove the armor. I like the protection, but they are already so slow. Agonizingly slow, even. Not great. Not fantastic. All the basic items I'm going to sell without totally handicapping my men. Make use of this early sell bonus. Alright. Fantastic. Not bad. Not bad at all. Good early boost. I should buy some food. And now, we're going to put to use the new stance for the Kreis Contingent and, well, really the Holy Roman Empire as a whole. A muster. We're going to muster. See what we get. Only 20 gold a day and 7 food a day. Not too bad for 100 reservists. Kind of a bargain. Just keep an eye on the food and money so you don't run out. You can also gain new recruits this way. It's quite fantastic way to gear yourself up for later in the game. First new unit, fantastic. Imperial recruits. Let us continue. I'm gonna get another unit here shortly. May have to buy some more food though. Don't want to run out of that. Saxon recruits, fantastic. Notice the price has gone up a little bit. $30 and 11 food now. Not fantastic. Try to get one more unit. Let's go. Come on. Get one more. One more unit from mustering. Let's do this. Come on. One more unit. Let's go. Come on. Just one more. And Saxon recruits. Fantastic. We are going to get some more food. Because we do not want to run out. Take a look at our army now. Almost 2 full brigades. Gonna go ahead and put the cavalry on this side and the musketeers on this side. Recruits, recruits, more recruits, and recruits. Fantastic. Dragoons, musketeers, land millets here, and these are all the recruits on this side. Awesome. Change this over to the recruits, however. Give it to the Saxon recruits. Make sure the Saxons stay in action. Alright, not too bad. So as you can see, we got some extra units. We have 3389 reservists. That's a pretty good, solid start right there. Let's see. Forts. Lots of forts in the northern part of the map. And battlefields. We need to secure 3. We have 4 right there. And 1 in the very far corner. Alright, so we're going to follow the road down here and come around. See what all we can do. Hopefully taking out as many enemy armies as possible. We do not want mustering anymore. Thank you. Oh, you can still move with mustering. I did not realize that. But if you're not close to a settlement, you don't get plus 4% for being next to a settlement. Okay. Very interesting, very neat. I like that. Wounded Nobleman, pray for him. And fantastic. Johann Abraham von Rockau. What do you got? Accuracy and range for keen. And brave. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Crucial infantry and more items. Well, I suppose we can check it out. See what they have. Recruits, they're more expensive for us. It's not great. Gunsmith, we can always check and see if they have a Jaeger rifle. Not that we have any money to buy one with. Alright. Time to move on, shall we? Now I may wish to cut through here to get this and come down and up. Instead of going down and up and having to cut through again. I don't like that idea too much. This is another time when it's great to have enough food. Munitions, weapons, cannon, specialized ammo. Get the cannon. Neat. Now if we upgrade a unit into artillery, or we need money, or we need cannon for an event, we have it. Fantastic. Got a battlefield coming. Woodenovan, pray for him. And he died. So, one lived and one died. Alright. Herd. 2 good horses, or 80 provisions and 2 pellets. Let's get the 2 good horses. They're worth some money if we really don't want them, but that could also help our cavalry here. Melee damage, move speed, and morale. Let's do that. There we go. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea indeed. We're going to go for this fort down here. Hopefully it's something we can handle. Otherwise we may not be able to do it. Yeah, laying siege without grenades or artillery, we're going to have to leave and come back later, boys. That's not going to happen. Don't run from us. We need you. We need to do battle with you. Alright, musketeers and recruits. Easy battle. We're not even going to send up all of our troops. I'm just going to send up the majority. Alright. Mostly open battlefield. Here's our town we like to use often. They get a hill. We might just move westerly. We may just do that. That might actually be the play. Alright, go ahead and do that. Send them here, send them there. General here. Cavalry here. And of course, the Imperial supply train. Alright, let's see if we can take that position before the enemy reaches us. So far, so good. Alright, we gotta try to entice them into coming after the area where we have a lot of these houses here. Let's not speed up cavalry. Alright. Here we go. Fantastic. Gonna get some good cover. This is gonna be wonderful. Awesome. That is going to work out really, really well. Get the Saxon recruits over there as fast as possible. Alright, men are almost in position. Get the land millets and the musketeers back here a little bit better. Move the cavalry up. Alright, men are preparing. Nearly in position with the recruits. Send the general up. Alright. Enemy recruits getting position on us. Imperial recruits are taking their positions. Alright, fantastic. Order multiple units to fire on units together as much as possible. Alright, they're shooting at the recruits outside of cover. That's not too big a deal since we got both units firing on them. Alright, we're going to be charging the enemy. Fantastic. And hopefully they won't get a volley off, and they did not. That's wonderful. Keep charging them as much as we can. Move up the land millets, the musketeers, and the cav, in the event that their musketeers get funny ideas about going after our recruits. Order these recruits to charge. Alright, they're charging. It looks like they may receive one more volley before they get there. And they did. It's not good. The Saxon recruits need assistance. The Imperial Dragoons and the General over there as soon as possible. Or the General to help. Alright, time for the General to leave. Saxon recruits are getting hurt. Very badly. We defeated the enemy musketeers and we broke them. Alright. So our recruits on the right flank did break. I did know that was a possibility. Not too badly though. Alright. Some more items. Did fairly good there. I believe we're getting tollers and ammunition once again. Awesome. Not too bad. Give them the great codes. Cavalry sword. Alright, that's awesome. Go ahead and keep that. Can't do that for it yet. That's somewhat disappointing. Ah. We lose provisions. Alright then. Provisions cost more here. Isn't that wonderful? Alright. Nothing too crazy going on. Gotta go back up here and get some food right quick. Hate to burn more of our money this early, but gotta have it. If you run out of food, you lose basically all your reservists. And then, even more extra special, not only do you lose your reservists, but your men start to desert. We gotta pay for their silence, it looks like. And they listen. Fantastic. Don't want to sell anything here. Their currency is debased. It's not great. But we do have a battlefield here. Awesome. Cavalry clash. We want to gain a cavalry regiment. We will suffer, it looks like, attrition. regardless. And we got Saxon Chevalier and Saxon Tatar. Wow. 2 more cav units. Isn't that something? That's fantastic. 55, give them heavy armor. That is awesome. Good thing we got those horses. So I guess the Saxon Tatar cavalry has to sit in reserve for now. Very good. Alright. These boys wanted battle, now suddenly they don't. Alright, musketeers, recruits, so 3, and field artillery. Alright, we gotta take care of that artillery. Ah, yes, just like John Wick. Don't frick with a man's dog. Do not frick with a man's dog. Just don't. Never ends well for you. Keep these 2 units back in reserve. Gonna be pushing these 4 units up ASAP. Gonna put the cav on either flank strategically. Alright. Bum rush the recruits up there as fast as we can get them to go. Get the cavalry up here on the flanks. Move up the general. Alright. The artillery is likely to begin firing on us very soon. We need to set up our units here. These recruits can go to the flank here, and these recruits can go to the flank here. Alright. Opening fire on our dragoons. Opening fire on our infantry. Our infantry is doing their best to take position, though they're being somewhat slow about it. Alright, gonna go charge into them. Take care of the problem. And that's most definitely taking care of the problem. Alright. We'll take them on the flank here. Charge in there. Get the recruits around the flank. Have the dragoons take out their artillery as soon as possible. Hopefully without getting demolished themselves. Yep, they're facing our cav. And, ooh, they did get a shot off. That was not good. Alright, let's see what we can do here. No more running. Don't want that. Alright, get in position, men. Musketeers look like they're about to do a charge. Move the men up here. Move the men up. Get the cavalry going down here. Fantastic. So I did not realize that the supply wagon was right there, which looks like what they've charged into, which is somewhat hilarious. That's very interesting. Got our troops fighting in melee with them now. Dragoons broke the enemy. Need to give them a rest. Alright, Saxon Chevalier going in for the kill. To break the enemy. Spare us some reservist casualties here. Doing a number on the Prussian musketeers. And they're broken. Fantastic. That was also a good battle. Not too bad. Now, the Holy Roman Empire starts with some lower than average characteristics for their units. It's not terrible. It's not great. Alright. Thalers and ammunition. Got some more levels for our men. Very good. Alright. The Saxons could become artillerists. Artillerists? Yes, I do believe so. Alright. We do not... Well, oh, we do have a gun for them, actually. So perhaps that's exactly what we're going to do. Saxon artillery. Thank you very much. Reload. Only 0.5 second reload for them. That's not great. Alright. So let's give that to a different unit. Alright, they need the chaplain. See, they only got 34. We're going to give them the boots. They're going to get the light armor. And only 1 muskets for these two. Let's switch that out. Give the land blitz an upgrade. Alright. It's looking pretty good. Let's go to Glogau. Artillery recruitable and food. I'm fairly certain we're going to be spending all of our money on food. And then I see Jaeger rifles. Yep. Gotta have them. Gotta get the Jaeger rifles. Absolute must. Since they only show up here. I mean, they only show up like that. Alright. Got Jaeger rifles. Still buying food. Fantastic. We were able to buy all the food. That's good news. 1,200 food. That's pretty good setup for a start for us. That's another reason we wanted that artillery right away, so we could actually get these forts. So let's head on yonder here down the road. Get an encampment right quick. There's an encamped army. Can't do nothing about that yet. And we can't help. We don't have pelts or a blanket. Oh man. Thankfully we didn't have deserters. That's good, because there's nothing we could have done. Ah, enemy army. Let's face them. Let's see. Ah, cavalry and artillery. 4 recruits, land millets, and musketeers. This will be a good battle. This will be good. We need this. We need as much money and food as we can get so we can muster even further. If we can help it, we don't ever want to pay for reservists. Alright. Don't like a lot of the open terrain right here. But I don't really see much of an option. So we're going to hold this position and put our artillery on the hill. Hopefully, they'll be highly effective. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And we do not have the artillery in the right unit normally. We want them in the unit with the guy with the supply train. Thankfully, it can be used for them still. Something to think about for later, however. Put the cav on this flank because I don't really want my men over here. Alright, in general, fantastic. Alright. Get the cav to the flank. We're going to set up the troops. Alright. Not bad. Not bad at all. Fantastic. Alright, hopefully that artillery will do well for us right now. Usually without many items and such, they're kind of crap, however. Only one way to find out how effective they're going to be. Alright, the enemy is advancing on us. Looks like they got musketeers wanting to go after our cav. It's not great. We can deal with it though, it's not great. Their artillery is already opening up on us. They have a 6-pound gun. Alright, move up the musketeers. See how well our cavalry can break them. Hopefully together they will. Taking several casualties, we overcame them. Fantastic. We want them to slow down as quickly as we possibly can get them to. Alright. Enemy is advancing on us. We're opening fire. Fantastic. Got our recruits ready in the pipeline, so to speak. Their cav is approaching our cav. Their guns are also firing on our cav. Not what I want, really, but I suppose it works out. The hussars do not have weapons. Well, guns, I should say. That works out to our benefit. We're going to charge them. See how our boys do. Still opening fire on them. Artillery's not doing too badly. Spread out the cavalry as we get their guns. They have 51 kills with their guns. Alright. Move our troops back. Those chevaux de guerre are doing fantastic. Awesome. Awesome work. Phenomenal, even. Excellent work. Oh, wow. This battle is going very, very well. The artillery is even doing a good job. Isn't that a pleasant surprise? The enemy has rallied and is now trying to go after my cavalry. Not ideal. Suboptimal, as some might say. Get the battalion of artillery to fire over here. Enemy cavalry is approaching. Engaging them with both units together. Fantastic. Beating off the hussars again. Musketeers will offer some fire there. Moving our recruits up here to engage the enemy. Alright, get them out of there. Move them up. Have them support troops, the guns. Hopefully the guns will do excellent in their support. Prussian units, they like to return to the battlefield after they've already been defeated. Fantastic. Alright, keep my cavalry away from them. Alright, recruits. Come up and do battle with the enemy. Chevaux de Guerre is still tired. Artillery is firing on the enemy. They're doing a fairly decent job. Support them with the general. Alright, get our cav around here. Have another go at the enemy, probably. How are we doing over here? Imperial recruits are winning the battle. Not causing a whole lot of casualties, however. Fantastic. We're going to have them move up. Alright. Cavalry is going to come back and join the main force. I'm going to move the land millets up just to support those troops in case they get charged or something. Moving up the Imperial recruits here to back up the other troops we have. Get the cav near here also. Help prevent a situation where they get dislodged from their cover. Move the general a little closer. Fantastic. Alright, those Imperial recruits will hopefully get many kills. Right, troops are doing excellent. Land millets are run off by the Saxons. Those Saxon troops are really doing well there, holding the line. Move the cavalry forward just in the event that the Saxons need support. General will move up. Charging the enemy and force the retreat. We got the victory. That was a great battle. That was wonderful. Very, very good battle. Alright, 10,000 casualties. Fantastic. Not bad at all. Some more horses, just basic. Entrenching tools. Follard, okay. And we're getting money and ammo, shall we? So we can start mustering again. Forgot to hand out the Jaeger rifles. Let's see, we can get Württemberger field Jaegers from the Württembergers. Okay, so let's do that with the Imperial land millets. We'll focus on making them expert marksmen. Accuracy and reload. Some more accuracy. Cover bonus. Goes good for cavalry. Yeah, we'll give them the Follard. Okay. Morale for the Saxons, maybe? Ooh. Imperial and Kreis troops have really bad morale, though. Not great at all. Cool, we can sell this one. Alright. Let's see. Von Hohenzollern. He gained an ability. Let's see what he can have. Let's see what we get. Vegetable gain, no. Accuracy 10, I like that. So since he has that. Prudent. So we can either make him into a musketeer officer or a grenadier officer. I believe we're going to make him into a musketeer. Get precise. Alright. Not bad, not bad. I would love to take that on, but I don't know if we're capable of it yet or not. I don't think that we are. Let's head down kind of around it. Oh, let's check out this outpost. Unwanted outpost, or unmanned outpost. Garrison with a few, HQ. By 1 week, HQ by 2 weeks, garrison with 830. Scrap. Yeah, we want the HQ delayed, so we can garrison it with many. Hopefully this fort is not one we need to do massive battle with. Fallen. Search quickly and leave. Find 2 weapons or unlikely chance of 5% attrition. Or 3 weapons and moderate chance. Let's do 2 weapons. Tula muskets. Yellow pulling. Okay, so you're gonna be melee troops, so we're gonna give that to you. Those are worn. That's that. Imperial recruits, we'll give that to you. We'll give the Tulas to you. Alright, we'll have some of those left over. Not bad. Alright. We already have Saxon battalion of artillery. We have Saxon Chevalier, So I do believe I want Saxon Grenadiers. They look like kind of a mix here. Not sure. The veteran musketeers aren't too bad either. 1,400 men. Let's save that and find out. Alright. Slums, that could slow down the enemy headquarters. Mess around a lot down here, though. We need to get those 3 forts. Let's check it out. Alright. Feud. 3 weapons for $90 or $11.90 reservists for 120 provisions. Let's get the reservists. Convoy. Let's see what it's got. Merchants. Large escort. They returned. Wonderful. Just the kind of things that we needed. It's awesome. Definitely use that for our artillery. Just to see what that would be now. Oh, you can't use that and the other. 2 and 2 and 5% and -2 reload. Okay. Let's see. That's 315. That's only 300. That's not that big of a difference, honestly. I suppose it's alright. Very interesting. Okay. Give them some of the gators. Alright. We already have enough battlefields. We just need 3 more forts. Enemies captured. Awesome. Got some Potsdams. Musketeers are going to get the Potsdams. Alright. Let's head back up to this settlement. Need to get some food now again. Just to be sure that we're good. Let's check out this fort. Hopefully it's something we can deal with. Alright. Gotta lay siege. Alright, well, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to take care of this fort and keep working towards our objective in the next episode. This has been the first episode for our Kreis Contingent campaign for the Holy Roman Empire on Master of Command. Thank you for joining me. This has been the Prophet of the Constitution. God bless.